Welcome to How the Races Won, the Triathlon edition. Today we're looking at XTERRA Mexico for 2016, the men's race.
CoachEdu.net.
Braden Rakita was leading the elite men's contenders out of the warm water of Lago San Juan, followed by Eckerson, Francisco Serrano and Kieran McPherson. The swim was great here at altitude with no speed suit and no wetsuit, said Eckerson. I suffered a bit but came out of the water feeling really good. Once we got caught on the bike, Paco, that's Francisco Serrano, caught us really quick and he was really strong, and right when he caught up to us, he attacked straight away. My coach had told me to ride defensively and go with him until the last big climb and measure myself, and if I had it in me to attack him there, to be able to get away from him on the downhill. Meanwhile, Serrano had said that my swim wasn't what I expected. I got cramp getting out of the water and couldn't walk out of transition, so I had to shake it out a little bit. I managed to bridge the gap all the way to the front, and I was riding with Rom Eckerson. We were riding really well, and there were 3 or 4 of us on the first descent. Then it was only Rom and me, and afterwards on the hill Rom got a little bit in front of me. I was going to give it a go on the downhill to try and catch him, but I think I went a bit too hard because I got a flat as we went down. I tried to fix it with CO2 because I thought it was going to seal. Anyhow, I rode flat and was good in second place heading into the transition, and I thought I could make it on the run. Eckerson recalls the bike duel something like this. On the first climb, 100 meters from the top, I was watching Paco climb, and he was dropping the pace. Right before we hit the top, he attacked super hard, and I was ready, and I went with him and counter-attacked. And we were handlebar to handlebar at the top. He made the first little downhill, and then I went behind him, and that's when the other guys got dropped. Then he pulled on the flats, and I pulled some, and we started climbing the second big climb and started putting the pace. I opened up a little hole, maybe 10 meters or 20 meters, and then suddenly it was a 30-second gap, and coming down, I was feeling good on my bike, so coming down that technical hill, I didn't fall and made it all the way to the bottom. I knew I needed a gap on Paco to be able to win. He has a lot of experience racing, and I thought that he was going to run a little better. I needed about a minute on him to be able to win, and I had a gap, but I didn't know what it was. Maybe a minute or so I ran with what I had. The first lap was hurting really bad, and the second one I was starting to feel a bit better, and I had the lead, and I got motivated for sure. I was super stoked. Meanwhile, Serrano said that I was feeling alright on the run, especially on the second lap. I was feeling strong and pushed it. Kieran McPherson was running strong, and I knew he was close. But still I knew I had enough of a gap. And then I lost a shoe. Literally, his shoe stayed behind in the mud, and Kieran came by. McPherson posted the fastest run split of the day to jump past Serrano into second, his best finish yet on the XTERRA World Tour. I was really surprised. Right in contention with Paco and Rom. It's a good spot. I rode hard from the top of the first hill, and coming down the climb, Paco attacked and I tried to go with him, but I dropped the chain, so I was riding with no chain all the way down to the bottom of the first steep hill, said McPherson. I stopped and untangled it and pulled it out, so I lost a bit of time there. The gap stayed the same to the bottom of the big climb. I knew I wasn't going to get up to the top of the climb with them, but it was good pacing to get on the climb with them. I thought I would have had one of the stronger runs, so I just needed to get as close as I could. I caught Paco on the run at the big ditch where we had to climb down into pretty thick mud in the bottom. I tried to jump across, but Paco got down and sunk his shoe. He ended up losing his shoe in the bottom, and I knew I was closing him on him, but it wouldn't have been tight. It would have been really tight if he'd managed to push on with his shoe. Still, I couldn't be happier with second today. Finally, I got one that went pretty right altogether, so I'm pretty happy. Akerson was equally excited with his win. It was the one that I wanted this one, and I really needed it. Back-to-back series wins is really good for my sponsor, said Akerson, who's been racing XTERRA for more than a decade. 10 years ago, at the age of 22, he won the overall amateur title at the XTERRA World Championships before turning pro. And let's not forget that Josiah got sick, so the whole thing changed around. I hope he gets better, said Akerson. The race would have been completely different if he'd been there. Esteban Rosas was strong all day in 4th, and Brandon Rakita held on for 5th place. That brings me to the end of my report on XTERRA Mexico, the men's race for 2016. Be sure to like and share this video. Post any comments, questions, criticisms that you have in the comment section down below. Hit that subscribe button down there, and last but by no means least, stay carved up for the win. I'll see you next time. Cheers.